So thanks for watching today. I'm going to do a quick video on how I check shafts for straightness. Short story, I got a 63 only T10 4-speed in for a 1963 split window Corvette. Beautiful car. Super clean, 100% beautiful car. I love the car. Anyway, came into the shop, not my shop, my customer's shop. They put a rebuild kit in it because they thought the noise was from bad bearings. Well, after going back and looking at the transmission, it looked like the whole transmission was run low on oil and the gear set was toast. So I had to source out a gear set, and then on top of that, check the main shaft out. I noticed there was heat marks on the main shaft, and the shop said that the yoke was badly destroyed, the bushing was destroyed, but the tail housing was fine, and the pilot bushing inside the crankshaft was also worn. So a lot of times that means that there's some misalignment somewhere. When you have both the yoke and the pilot bushing destroyed, that means that the whole axis is moving up and down like this. So I figured I better go check that main shaft, and sure enough, it was bent. So I just wanted to show you how I check main shafts on the centers that I have here. And if you'd like, please buy my book. It tells you all about rebuilding the T10s and Super T10s and Muncie 4-speeds and some other stuff in this book. Great theory in the book and everything on building and modifying high-performance manual transmissions. It's available on Amazon.com and also on my website. Links are below in the video description about the book and how you can contact me and whatever. So let's watch this video. Thanks for watching. So if I look at this main shaft, it's a 16 spline shaft. Usually these shafts will twist right over here. But the odd thing was it wasn't twisted, but it was very hot over here. This whole area, you could see the discoloration from the heat. And apparently when you put this together in the transmission, the yoke may go in, but the front end, when the input's in it, the input wants to go like this. So there's something going on with this particular shaft where it's obviously bent. The bushing was wiped out in the extension housing, and the pilot bushing in the crankshaft was wiping out. So it was severe misalignment, and it got very hot. So I'm going to go check this on these centers here. We're going to find out how off this shaft is. We're going to find out how out of round it is. So I just have this old piece that I've had, and usually I have 3 indicators that I set up on this thing, and we can see how the thing is going to work out. We could start anywhere with the indicators, and then we're going to go see high spot and low spot, and then see if it reproduces through all the journals. Usually I will measure on every journal, even the speedometer, any area that's ground. So speedometer area, rear bearing area, second gear area, third gear area. First gear is a bushing, which goes over here, so I'm not really too concerned about that. But the main thing is the bearing area over here where it mounts in the mid plate, speedometer area. These are ground again areas. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And hopefully we'll see something where the thing bows out like this or bows in or something like that. But let's see what we got. All right, so I got the dial indicator, and we could see that we have some severe bend already showing up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zero, this is the low point, so I'll zero it out on the low point. And we'll see how high it goes. We got 9 thousandths out on the high spot here, back down. So we got 9 thousandths run out. I'm going to take a pen, I'm going to mark it right at the spot where it's running out high. 009. Now I'll take it and I'll move it to this journal. All right, so we're spinning it up again. All right, let's go zero it out of its low point. Yeah. Got about 8 over here. 8 thousandths over here. So it seems to be going a little bit down, but that's what we got. Yeah, that's 8. So now if we could see, it's actually getting less. let's go move it, zero it out again. One, two, three, 4 thousandths. Mark this here. Put it right here. See what we got there. And move it again to the 3rd speed journal. So I'm the 3rd speed gear journal right now. Let's go see here. We got we're about, that's your high spot. Now we're going down to about 3 thousandths over here, okay? About there. All right, so I moved the indicator right on the tip, and we've got nothing. So we could see the 0 over here, and it kind of bows back that way. What I'm going to do is flip this thing around on the centers again, and double check it in the other direction to see if the results are the same. All right, so I flipped it around on the centers, starting at the tip. Of course, it's going to be 0. It's not moving at all. And keep in mind, I have marks here, yellow markers, from where it was high before on all these journals. Let's see if it reproduces in the opposite direction now. So here we are in a 3rd speed journal, spinning it around 3 thousandths out. High spot is right where the yellow lines were from the previous measurements. Let's go move down to the 2nd speed journal now. The 2nd speed journal, spinning it around. High spot seems to be right about same space, about here, where the yellow marks are. Goes down. We're running at about 4 thousandths out here. Okay. Now we're going to move down to the bearing race journal. All right. Low spot is right about there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, right where the paint mark was before. Let me just make a note of that here again. I'm going to say 8. All right. So here I0 just went out, and we're at about 9. And if you notice, it's right where I marked it before. So whether the shaft is flipped this way or that way, it's still coming out with the same run out. This area seems to be the worst. So it bends up about here and then goes progressively back down. So we got a shaft that's just going like this, all right? 9 thousandths is a lot because it's going to cause binding and it's going to cause the input shaft to wobble. Now, let's go get a new shaft. So this new T10 main shaft is a duplicate of the older shaft. Got a little bit longer speedometer area, but also it's got a 27 spline output shaft, which makes it stronger and less prone to twisting. It's easier to get 27 spline output shaft yokes than it is the 16 spline ones. So I'm going to just put this on the centers for the hell of it and see what we've got. I'm really curious. It would be a bummer if this thing was just as out. Right, so I got it on the tip. Got no movement at all. Now these journals have a little bit of an oil relief in them, so I have to be careful as far as how I measure these. So I'm going to just move this right about there. Lock the magnet in place. I got nothing here. It's nice. Nothing here. Look at that. This thing isn't even, this thing is like 1.5 thou easily. It's not even running out at all. Maybe 0.2. It's amazing. Let's go to the speedometer area over here. Off this thing down. Same thing. I'm seeing some movement, very little, or probably 0.2. That's it. Beautiful. All right, so something about these 63 T10s I just want to let you know. This bearing retainer is smaller than the average bearing retainer and requires the use of the 421 casting bell housing. Very important. If you put this in the normal bell housing, it's going to flop around and wipe out the pilot bushing. Also, the casting number for the T10 63 only case is a T10D as in David -1 and the T10-7D extension housing with the bow tie on it. This is cast in 62. You can see it's 25, 62. This one is 11, 15, 62. I can't make this out. It looks like an L maybe. But anyway, the castings were done in 62, late 62 I would gather. Let's flip it around and look on this side here. You can see this also was 11, 26, 62. Very nice. So it's a really nice piece. It's got the original tag on it as well. I had to put a billet mid plate on this over here because the mid plate was so sloppy. It was bad, and I only have new billet plates. But these transmissions, let me just show you over here. These cases through bolt. I kind of like this design. So they through bolt all the way on the bottom. So because these new plates are drilled and tapped for the later units, I have to drill out the threads inside here and make it pass through. So I have to do that from the top and bottom over here. And it came out really nice and quiet now. It's a big difference. So that's that. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. See you soon.